Alright guys, welcome to the video on translating from the Unit 1 assessment. Again, these questions are coming right from the test, so make sure you have your sheet in front of you that shows you which ones you got wrong. You can skip ahead to the questions that you've missed. You don't have to watch the whole thing. It is good review, but make sure you're especially watching the ones that you did get wrong. Now, if we look at number 1, which of the following verbal statements is equivalent to the algebraic statement? What's listed? Now, what we want to do, we're going to take each letter and we're going to write out what each letter says and see which one matches. So the length of a rectangle is 3 cubed. Well, if I have 3 cubed, that's 3 to the third power, more than is my keyword to switch it, so I'm going to put it behind the addition sign. The square root of 4 times its width, w. So 4 times its width, w. Well, in this case, we're adding, and my problem asks for subtracting, so that can't be it. The length of a rectangle is 3 cubed again, 3 to the third power, less than, my keyword than, so that's going to go after my subtraction, the square root of 4 times its width, w. 4w. Well, that looks pretty close to it, but I'm going to put a question mark there. We do want to check the rest of it. The length of a rectangle is the difference of, well, difference of means I'm subtracting, but it doesn't have the word than, so I'm going to subtract in the order that it's given to me. So 3 cubed first, and, so subtraction, the square root of 4 times its width, so 4w. Well, it's switched around, so that can't be the same thing. And letter D. The length of the rectangle is the sum of. Well, sum means we're adding, and we're going to keep it in that order because it doesn't have the word than. 3 cubed and the square root of 4 times its width. Again, my expression up top does not have addition, so we are left with B being as our correct answer. Keep in mind the only words that flip the order is than and from. So when it says difference of or sum of, we're not changing the order just because we're adding and subtracting. We need those key words there. Which expression represents the quotient of the square root of x and y squared, comma, less 5 cubed? That comma is important because that tells me after that we're going to get out of what we're doing. So we're going to start with the quotient of. Well, that means division. So I'm going to draw my big division bar. My and is kind of my separator word for what's going to be on the top and the bottom. The square root of x. The square root symbol, keep in mind, is my radical symbol of x, and is my divider, and then it says y squared. Y squared is y to the second power. Make sure you know the difference between squared and square root. Now, that comma means we're getting out of the quotient less 5 cubed. The big thing here, it does not have the word than, so we're not switching the order. Less just means to subtract, and 5 cubed. If it does not have than, you do not need to switch the order. So now if I look at my answer choices, A doesn't work because that's x squared on top. B is the square root of x over y squared minus 5. That one looks good. C starts with 5 cubed. That can't work. And D, we have y squared minus 5 cubed in our denominator, so that doesn't work. B is our correct answer. If we look at question 3, Travis would like to buy some toys to donate to charity. He plans to buy 9 dolls at D dollars. We need to buy 2 toy cars at C dollars and 3 train sets at T dollars. Which expression represents the total cost? Well, the big thing we need to think here, when we are saying total cost, you are adding everything together. Think when you go to the grocery store or when you go out to eat. Everything is added together. So if I want 9 dolls at D dollars, well, I have 9 times D, because I can multiply instead of adding 9, or adding D 9 times. Plus, I'm buying toy cars. Well, I'm buying 2 toy cars at a cost of C, so I'm going to multiply C times 2. And I'm buying 3 train sets at T dollars. So I'm going to make sure I add them all together. Well, if I look, letter A has 9C. I have 9D, so that doesn't work. Letter B, we're subtracting everything, but keep in mind, total cost, we need to add it all together, so that's not going to work. Letter C looks exactly like what we had, but let's just check to make sure. Letter D, again, they're subtracting, and we can't subtract if we want total cost. That leaves answer choice C as our final answer. And if we look at the problem, 9 is grouped with D, and then we have our comma. So again, that tells you that they're grouped together when it comes to the word problem. The length of a rectangle is 5 less than twice a number. The width of a rectangle is 3 more than half a number, n. Choose all of the following. And that's important. Choose all of the following. So if you did not choose everything, you were automatically wrong. So if we start with the length, I have 5 less than. 5, that less than means we need to flip it, twice a number. Well, twice means we're multiplying by 2, and it tells me my number is n, so 2n. The width is 3 more than, so again, more means we're adding, and the 3 comes after it because we're switching, half a number n. Well, if I'm doing half a number, I'm dividing it by 2, or multiplying it times 1/2. So now I need to find the answer choices that match. Well, B matches my length, and D matches my width. If you didn't choose both of those, you were wrong. You needed to make sure you chose all of the following. Translate the following verbal expression into an algebraic expression. So, the square root of, so I'm going to draw my square root symbol. The product, which means we're multiplying, of x and y, that comma again tells me we're coming out of the square root symbol, less 8. In this case, we don't have the word than, so we're just subtracting 8. We don't need to change the order. It does not have the word than. If I look at my multiple choice, A has 8 first, so we don't want that one. B is adding, but we said product means to multiply. C looks good. D is actually the squared, not square root. So the only answer choice that works is letter C. If we look at the last problem, we're going to solve out each one, and then that way we can see which one matches. I'm going to write it below. A is 6 times a number y cubed. So 6 times a number y. Again, cubed is to the 3rd power. Increased by just means we're adding. We're not flipping it. The quotient of, so I'm dividing. The cube root of x. The cube root, if we have root, it is our radical symbol. And 5. Well, if I look, that looks pretty good. So let's check B just to be sure. So again, we have 6 times the cube root of y. So 6 times the cube root of y. Well, already that doesn't match my top. Keep in mind the cube root is that radical symbol. C, 6 times a number y cubed. So it starts off good. Increase by, we're not changing the order, so plus. The product of the cube root of x and 5. Product means we're multiplying, so I have the cube root of x times 5. Well, that doesn't match what's at the top because we need division in there. My last answer choice, if I look at D, 6 times the number y cubed, increased by, again, we're not flipping it. Now it says the quotient of x cubed. Cubed is to the 3rd power, and 5. Well, if I look back at my original answer, I wanted the cube root. So the correct answer for number 6 is letter A. And make sure you know the difference between cubed and cube root. Cubed is to the 3rd power. Cube root is the 3 out front of our radical symbol. Make sure you go over these, bring any questions you have to class, and make sure you're ready to retake this test next week.